I think there's abundant evidence that Jesus rose from the dead. We have not only the empty tomb, that the tomb was empty and no one appears to say that you could go anywhere and find Jesus' body in a tomb, but you also have a variety of resurrection appearances. In fact, Jesus seems to encounter people in so many different situations, so that when you look at the Gospels and the letters in the New Testament, you find that clearly people claim that Jesus had appeared to them, and not just appeared at a distance, but appeared up close to groups of men, groups of women, individuals, by prior appointment, without prior appointment, morning, evening, indoors, outdoors, in Galilee, in Judea, in the city, in the countryside, up a mountain, by a lake. So you have all of that variety of resurrection appearance. That only happens when lots of people are saying that they've seen Jesus risen from the dead. Now, you could get rid of Jesus' body if you imagine that some people robbed the grave, but that wouldn't then explain why a whole number of people are prepared to say that they've seen Jesus up close. So you then have to have lots of people in on the conspiracy, and that becomes pretty implausible when you consider how much early Christians suffered. So I think the empty tomb plus the resurrection appearances together makes a strong case for the resurrection. But you can make it even stronger because you can say it's not just that these things happen, but that these don't just happen to any old random person. They happen to someone who was independently believed to be the Messiah. He seems to have been crucified by the Romans precisely because they perceived him as a political threat as the Jewish king. He's someone who arguably was born in Bethlehem, where Old Testament prophecy had said a ruler would be born. He comes from the most remarkable people group on earth, the Jewish people. He seems to have taught remarkable stories like parables that people find very readable today. If he didn't say them, someone else did. The parables are amazing stories and people still want to read them today. They find them very engaging, they're carefully crafted. And either Jesus invented these parables or he had incredibly generous disciples who came up with brilliant stories and then credited him with them. I think it's far more plausible that he came up with them himself. He taught the first version of the positive golden rule. So you start building up this picture of many, many remarkable things about Jesus. Almost certainly Jesus was descended from David, the king. There are cousins of his half-brother Jude who appear before the Roman Senate in the 2nd century testifying to their ancestry from David. So I think all of these things together just make a compelling case for the resurrection.